So trust triggers, this is what we're going to cover today. Hello, everyone. Once again, we're going to cover how to accelerate trust with cold audiences in under 3 minutes. It doesn't take a rocket science to understand. I'm going to be talking about brand videos and how they work, why we need them more than ever, regardless of whether we work together, right? So my job here today is not to sell you on my program. My job is today to help you understand the perspective of buyer psychology and why the brand videos fit in, and to help you make that choice whether it makes sense for us to work together or whether it doesn't. There's no pressure here. It's not a sales pitch. It is a presentation where then I will give you an opportunity to join my program if you feel like that's a good fit for you. Don't need any more introduction. You've watched my brand video. So my goal today, once again, is to teach you the fastest way to build trust and accelerate sales online without being tethered to social media, without having a big audience, risking any money on ads, or already having a ton of social proof. And that last little line is something new that I'm bringing to my conversations, because I really feel like once you meet somebody who might have years and years and years in business. I was actually watching a webinar the other day. It was a breakdown of a webinar that made this guy over $10 million. And so I was watching the breakdown of the webinar, and half of the webinar, I kid you not, half of the webinar, testimonials. And this guy had had his program for so many years. And so he had thousands of testimonials. And there's something to be said about, when you reach a certain point in business where you have a million people around you saying how awesome you are, you can build trust pretty quickly that way, right? But a lot of us, we are not 10 years into our business. This guy was, I think at the time when he ran this webinar, he was maybe 7, 8 years into his business. A lot of us don't have that amount of time with our business, right? Or we've gotten started and the wheels are in motion. We have a proven offer. We know who we're speaking to, but we don't have that clout. We don't have millions of followers. We don't have that audience around us already. And so if this is you, you're in the right place. And I'm going to speak to you and your business where you are right now. So my goal is also to show you exactly why and how to leverage your story to make people never again forget who you are. How many of you would like this to happen? How many of you would like to have people meet you online? And I'm not saying that you have a coffee chat with them. I'm not saying that you meet them in real life. I'm saying that they come to your social media profile. I'm saying they come to your website. They find you online and they never forget you again. Give me a yes in the chat. I know this is like stereotypical webinar thing to do, but I really want you guys to please talk to me. Please let me know if this resonates. How many of you guys would like that to happen? I'm seeing a lot of yeses. That's awesome. Thank you for participating. I don't take your participation for granted. If you're on this webinar, you've probably been on a million webinars before, and that's okay. I'm going to try to break the rules here. I am not a webinar pro. I'm Mariana. I'm a person who believes in this wholeheartedly and who has a lot to teach you. So let's go. So even if you don't have a dramatic story, a lot of that comes up a lot for me. Wait, Mariana, I've never won an Emmy. I haven't traveled the world. I don't have all of these. I never had a near-death experience. Don't worry, I've got you. Without the fear of saying the wrong thing, even if telling your story has felt like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Here's another participation thing I'd love you to chime in on. How many of you guys wrote your About Me page or your bio somewhere, and it felt like throwing spaghetti at the wall? You're like, oh, I guess I'm going to just introduce myself this way. I don't really know what to say here. Or you just felt like, I guess I have to have this section on my website. Does this resonate with any of you guys? You wrote it kind of in the beginning of your business and have never looked at it again. I'd love to know. And also, I want to know whether you know that your About Me page is the second most visited page on your website. Assuming you have a website. Yep, it sounds rubbish, Katie says. It does. It's so hard to be able to understand from an outsider's perspective how our story can actually be impactful. It's really, really hard. And so it's way harder to write about yourself than other people. Barbara, I agree with you 100%. So this is what you're going to learn today. Secret number 1, the instant trust test. You have never heard of this because I coined it, and I'm yet to find anybody talking about this. And if you know anybody, let me know. The instant trust test, discover whether your brand or yourself, you pass the 5-second connection check. What the heck that is, I will let you know. Secret number 2, The 4 trust triggers, this is what you're here for. This is the star of the show today. These are the emotional cues that make your people feel seen, feel safe, feel ready to buy. Oh my goodness, when this happens, it's amazing. I can't tell you guys how joyful it makes me when I see my story, my brand video doing the work for me, showing up in places where I'm not showing up. I am not tethered to social media, guys. I haven't posted a single thing today, and I have a masterclass. I'm not doing this right, right? I'm not following the rules. And yet here you are. And yet you came today. And yet I have people emailing me cold. And I'm going to show you some examples in a second. But all this to say that maybe you're somebody who loves and enjoys being on social media. I try not to tell myself that I hate it, but I sincerely feel like it takes a lot of time to get it right. I want to at some point hire somebody to do this for me. I think it's important to be visible there. But right now, in this point, in this moment in my business, I don't want to feel tethered to social media. I don't want to feel like I'm rambling. I'm off track. Let me get back to secret number 3. How to create trust at scale. So once you learn how to really connect using the 4 trust triggers, how can you do this at scale? How can you do this so that you're not having to have a coffee chat with every single person that comes into your universe, but instead you have one single asset that creates this lasting ripple effect of connection, of visibility, of sales? All right, before we begin, before we dive in, I do want to share with you the screenshot that I took from this morning. So 7 days ago, April 15th, I got a message from Valerie. Valerie has just joined the Brand Video Accelerator before Card opens. So Card opens officially today, but Valerie joined early, and this is what she wrote me. By the way, she wrote me this email because I asked her a very important question. So this is your first writer downer of the day. Why did you buy from me specifically? Why did you purchase this program? And very importantly, I asked her this the moment she signed up. The moment she signed up, I was like, welcome, Valerie. I'm so excited to have you. Why did you buy my program? And this is what she wrote. Everywhere I see you, so different groups that I'm in, and I guess that we're both in, my first thought is, I know Mariana. Because of your brand video, I not only recognize your name, but could refer you to someone and tell your story. For my offers, it takes a lot of trust and personal connection for a client to put their events in my hands and work with me to pull it off. Boy, do I get that, because that's the same thing about my program. The brand video seems like the perfect container to help someone feel that connection and make it memorable to them from the start. This is why she bought this program. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to see evidence of the power of this one video, right? I have never met Valerie. I've not spoken to Valerie. I did not get a connection call with Valerie. She did not attend a webinar. I don't know how long she's been on my list. I meant to check that, but I don't know how long I nurtured her, how she got in there. Either way, she saw my brand video, and every time I showed up, right? Every time she saw my name mentioned or I commented on something in a Facebook group. In fact, all of these are Facebook groups. None of these are actual like social media posts. She remembered me. She had connected with me, and I'm taking way too long on the slide. I'm going to keep going. There's so much to cover. So as you probably know, I am going to talk about my Brand Video Accelerator program. I have a fast action bonus for the next 10 people who join. And that is a brand new thing. I'll talk about it later at the end of this training, but I have a done for you brand video script and your shot list. This is the sales page. If you want to check it out, you don't have to check it out right now. You can stay here with me in the training, but I just want to give you a heads up that it is a 10% bonus that is then expiring. I'll talk more about it later. All right. So who is this for? You are in the right place, my friend. If you are a coach, a course creator, service provider, you sell your services online, and you're great at what you do. I want to show of hands. I want nobody to be honest in this space. Okay. You have permission to own your SHIT. You have permission to be awesome and to really remember that. And I think that sometimes if we're struggling with marketing, or we want to get better at it, whether we're struggling or not, we can sometimes forget how amazing we are. In fact, Jen Gottlieb, I think it's her, she does this thing called the badass list, where she writes all of the reasons that she's amazing. And I had a friend who's a coach, a marketing coach. She told me, it's just like, we all need to print out our testimonials and just like paste them on the wall so that we can look at them and remember how amazing you are. So give me a yes in the chat. Once again, I'm going to engage you guys. If you're great at what you do, if you really are awesome. If you're not awesome, that's okay. I would say the brand video accelerator is probably not for you. There's still going to be a ton of value in this training, but the reason I'm saying this is because it works so much better when you're awesome at what you do, right? And maybe you don't have the 1,000 testimonials like that other guy on his webinar, but you still know that you can get people results. I would love to see some yeses in the chat if that is you. Here we go. Laura, yes. Yes, that's a great just sort of statement to say. Just remind yourself. All right, I love it. There are people owning it. There's lots of fire hearts in the chat. Okay, who is this for again? You're not trying to go viral. You just want the right people to find you and say, yep, she's the person I've been looking for, or I don't discriminate. There's she's in here, but if you're a man, that's okay too. You are the person that I'm looking for. That's what you want people to say the moment that they meet you. Like, wouldn't that be freaking amazing? You're tired of having to prove why you're the best choice for your perfect person, right? You're tired of having to keep talking and keep saying why you're the best person, or show up as the expert. How many of you guys have heard, thank you, Melinda, yes, and becoming more and more awesome. How many of you guys have heard about like providing value online, right? The importance of like, you have to show up providing value, be the expert, be the go-to authority. Oh my goodness, right? It's exhausting to be like, I'm so great at what I do all the time. Here are a million tips and tricks. Here's my cheat sheet. Here's my fast action, blah, blah, blah. It's exhausting. So what if you had a video that did it for you, but did it in the right way to build trust? All right. You just want them person. Apparently I can't type, to land on your page and just get it without needing a discovery call or 170 nurture emails. So like Valerie, right? She saw my brand video. She saw my name here and there. She felt like she knew me. She experienced it. And she joined without any of those bells and whistles. You've posted, you've done the reels, you're building the list, you've sent the emails, and still it feels like you're not being seen, or at least it's taking too long to convert. You hate that showing up online can feel like a performance. You just want to be yourself and have that be enough. Amen. You know your story matters. You just don't know how to tell it without rambling, second guessing, and shrinking it down. Then maybe when you shrink it down, you're like, wait, did I miss something important here? Maybe you're not sure. Bottom line is, you want to work less time and spend way less time trying to get clients and way more time actually helping them. And it doesn't mean that you're working more time. You're just, the time that you spend working on your business is way more about helping your clients and seeing the results for them than actually procuring new clients and bringing new people in. The fastest thing is to not make a sale. Oh, Barbara, I missed what you were talking about. Sorry about that. Okay, so a couple house rules for our training today. Maybe hopefully this is obvious from just watching my brand video and getting a sense of my values, but just for clarity, this is not a get rich quick situation. This is not effortless earnings. A brand video is not a magic button that will immediately flip your business to a 6-7 figure business year. It's not. There's no sneaky or misleading methods. I'm not going to teach you how to like mind trick someone. There's no pushing marketing, not on my end either. You can rest assured that's not going to happen. We make money by helping people know they're in the right choice for them faster. Know they're making the right choice. I clearly needed to revise my slides here. Helping people make sure that they know they're making the right choice faster. We're accelerating trust for our business. We're accelerating results for our perfect fit clients, because when people choose to work with us faster, they get faster results. And guess what? Faster results, better referrals, it all snowballs from there. So neither my results nor my clients' results are typical. Disclaimer, the people that you're going to hear about are hardworking entrepreneurs who put in effort and did the work. The results you get are entirely up to you. So if you do decide to join my program, this is the disclaimer I have, because you're going to hear testimonials throughout this training. And these are not people who didn't show up, right? They showed up, they did the work, they believed in what I teach, and they actually did it. And I talk about inside my program, I talk about how the one big flaw of the brand video is that it doesn't actually work for you until you complete it. So they actually completed the program, they did the work, and now their brand video works for them. So this is, unfortunately, I sell something where it's like, yes, you actually get benefits as you learn. I'm going to go through exactly what you learn, but the real kicker, the real amazingness, the real awesomeness happens when you put in the work and actually complete your brand video. So if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you an awesome treat, an awesome bonus, a show up live bonus. So let's get started by talking about how does buying happen online. If most of you are here, I'm guessing not only do you sell online, but you also buy other things online. You're used to getting a ton of ads for things. You're used to getting bombarded with emails, a lot of them maybe from people that you don't remember who they are. You signed up for the lead magnet and then they show up in your inbox and you're like, wait, who the heck is this person? Has this happened to you? Give me a yes in the chat if you've signed up for a lead magnet and gotten bombarded, or maybe even, maybe not bombarded, but that person started showing up in your inbox. Megan says 100% all the time. It happens to all of us because unfortunately we've been taught that that's how we do things in the online space. You just have to hook people in and bombard them with content and hope that they don't leave and unsubscribe before you've had a chance to actually make a sale. Right? This is what everyone teaches. And I'm going to break that myth for you today. You're going to understand why starting in the very next slide. So this is what's different about the online space today, is that people are buying more and more based on emotional connection. I have, I think the next, maybe I put the slide a little bit further down, but a slide that talks about how people are buying based on values. People are buying from brands whose values they align with more and more and more. Their loyalty comes from a customer connection or an emotional connection. The Forbes article says this is also a really important stat. So at the same time as people are buying from more emotional connection, there are more and more businesses out there, period. So right now, there's an average of 430,000 new businesses every month. I mean, the stat is September, not that old. So that is a whole lot of people. I don't know if you guys are familiar with quiet quitting, with the great, I forgot what that's called, when people like abandoned their corporate jobs and they're still doing it, right? COVID taught us that we can do Zoom just as well as we can show up to an office, and people just want that more and more flexibility. I don't have to tell you guys. I bet that great resignation. Thank you, Isabel. I bet that most of you have some sort of corporate background or regular job background, and you moved to the online space to build your own business, to have your own freedom, to be able to to choose. I just spent my lunch break, if you shouldn't call it lunch break. I just spent, some time downstairs with my kid in the pool. And I didn't have to tell anybody about it. I didn't have to slack my boss about it. You guys all get it. So with that said, there's more and more people online offering maybe similar things to what you're offering. And so what we're going to talk about today, what we're going to make sure that we're not doing is blending in and not connecting with people. So this is the picture of boredom when people come across content that looks exactly the same over and over and over again. So depending on what your niche is, there may be more coaches, more course creators, more people offering a similar service. I guess luckily for me, there are not that many people talking about brand videos, but that's also, it can backfire a little bit where I have to teach you what a brand video is. But either way, chances are that if you're not really making your mark, if you're not creating that connection from the get-go, people are scrolling by, they're ignoring you, they're not remembering who you are when you show up in their inbox. So, okay, so we were talking about 540,000 new businesses every single month, and each of these businesses need the same thing. What do they need? They need more customers. They're fighting for attention. And how are they doing that? They're doing that with content, with more and more content. Now, not even to get into AI and how AI is getting so much better at creating content. I don't think it's like zombie-ish anymore, although it depends on how good you are at tweaking it and like telling your brand story. But either way, the reality is I feel like a year ago, there was terrible content that we were like swimming in garbage. And now I feel like even AI content is getting really good. So there's more and more of it. And so it's harder and harder to be heard above the noise. It's harder and harder to stand out. This was a stat that blew my mind this morning, that 95 million photos and videos are posted on Instagram every single day. Like, what the what? So obviously, not everyone's going to be seeing this. Not your ideal clients are not going to be bombarded with this many, but it's still a lot. It's a lot of content. Okay, so I wanna hear from you if you have heard about this stat, and feel free to react in the chat or just inside your head, that it takes about 6 to 12 months of consistent. I didn't even write the word consistent content. And maybe you haven't heard 1,700 touch points. I'm exaggerating here, but the idea is that it takes a lot of touch points. Actually, Shannon McKinstry, who I really like to follow for anything social media, she was saying that it used to be 7 touch points. Now it's like 77. I think it's even more than that, depending on what you sell. I want to question that a little bit. The number is way up. I agree with you, Barbara. But I'm going to challenge that, because we have bought into the idea. I do believe that it takes, so it's okay. Let me clarify. I agree 100% that it takes a lot more touch points than before. What I disagree with is that it has to take that many touch points and that many months to build trust. It does not have to take that long. We've just been taught that that's just how it is, and this is how you do it. You hook them with a lead magnet. You try to keep them in your email list as long as possible. You write really great subject lines. You show up consistently on social media so that they can like see your face over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then hopefully someday, when you have a webinar, when you have your thing, when you're launching, when your program is ready to accept new people, hopefully they'll pay attention. Hopefully they'll remember you. Hopefully you've built trust over time so that they're ready to buy from you. And that is just not true. That breaks my heart, because I feel like this is what I experienced early on when I left NBC and started looking into online marketing and being obsessed with it. I had kind of been studying it for a long time. I started listening to Amy Porterfield about 12 years ago. But when I started really digging into how the heck this works, and was fascinated by like this idea that you could build your own thing, you didn't have to, it's a startup on crack, right? You don't have to have funding. You don't have to have investors. You can grassroots this effort and start from scratch and just build as you go, and love your people and nourish your people and figure it out and learn the marketing skills. I don't know how many of you guys are sort of still in that phase, or if you've kind of graduated to like, okay, I have the systems, things are running, I'm bringing people in, but it's still taking a long time. It doesn't have to. I will show you how you can bypass this and have an unfair advantage in the noisy online space. Now we go to secret number 1. All right, so what the heck is the instant trust test? It's the thing that you need to do to make people your perfect people stop, pay attention, and care. And when does this happen? The instant trust test happens the moment you meet them, the moment they meet you. So let me start with this. I would love to hear from you what happens. Okay, so what happens when you come across somebody online? You see a comment that they've made, you see a post, maybe even Instagram surfaced something for you that you thought was interesting. Whatever the case may be, you come across somebody online. What is typically the first thing that you do after they've kind of intrigued you, right? You're kind of curious about them. What do you do? Let me know in the chat. Oh, I love that, Barbara. That's so sweet. You find something to compliment on. Okay, before you do that, before you have found something to I think that's a great idea, by the way. Before you do that, what's the very first thing you do? I'm guessing most of you are going to say something along the line. Smile. Okay, you guys are so sweet. All right, let me go to their feed and check out. There we go. All right, Isabel, look at their profile. Exactly, Katie. You look at their profile. You go to if you're on social media already, you go to their profile. If you are surfing the web, we don't even say that anymore. If you are somewhere else, you might go to their website, right? So you either LinkedIn profile, Instagram profile, Facebook profile, TikTok profile. I'm not on TikTok, so I'm guessing there's some sort of profile there. And then their website, right? We are checking them out. So this is what people are doing to us. They are checking us out. They're checking us out the moment they meet us. And I want you to just wrap your head around how phenomenally magical this moment is. It's a moment where you have intrigued them with something, And they, out of their own free will, their own energy, their own time, in their own privacy, they're anonymous. They haven't they haven't signed up for it. You don't know who they are, but they are checking you out. And what happens is a lot of us are not passing that instant trust test. And what your audience is doing, they might be not perfect clients, but they might be your perfect clients who have found you. They are asking themselves, is this person worth paying attention to? Is this person worth my time, my attention? Should I follow them? Should I sign up for this? Should I pay attention if I see them again? Do I care about what they have to say? Do I care about who they are and what they're doing? These are all the questions, look how insane this moment is. It's all of the questions that your audience is asking you when they first meet you. We do not talk about how to harness that moment. And this is why you're here. We're going to learn to make the most of that moment so that people do not forget us, so that people have that instant connection with us. Okay. It all happens in this very initial moment when they're checking us out. Does that make sense? This is a very important kind of concept. I'm guessing you guys have done this for yourselves. You've experienced this yourself. And 100% your audience is doing this too. And yet, most people compete on volume, right? They try to put out a ton of content so that they can be heard above the noise. Hopefully their people remember who they are. Hopefully their people will, pay attention to what they're doing. If you're competing on volume, chances are this is what it feels like if you don't have a massive team, right? If you're Alex Hormozi, if you're, folks in the 7-8 figure range who have marketing teams, right? Who have people in their teams who are putting out content. Even so, competing on volume is exhausting. It's expensive. It's exhausting. It's a competition for noise, right? Who can be the loudest? Who can show up the most? I don't play that game because I don't think it's a winning game. And it doesn't mean I don't show up on social media, right? It doesn't mean that I'm not present, right? Like Valerie said, she saw me in these groups. You saw me interacting with other people. But right now in my business, I don't make it a priority to post all of the time because it's a volume game and because I would be competing with people who post a lot more, who have the viral hooks figured out and who are showing up a lot, because I don't want to rely on the algorithm either. So what I want to rely on is this, which we already talked about. It was in the oh, so this is an awesome slide for me because it shows how much people are buying from people whose values they aligned with, which means that who you are is more important than ever for your business. Okay. I actually want to show you some. This is what happened. Okay. This slide is actually to remind me to tell you a quick story. So people buy from people whose values they're aligned with, right? What happens if I don't know. It's about, I don't know, midnight. I don't know how many of you guys wake up to pee in the middle of the night. I luckily don't. But if I did, or if you do, you get up in the middle of the night and you go to your bathroom. And if all of a sudden, instead of having a calm, quiet pee where you barely open your eyes, instead of that, your bathroom is flooded because your toilet is busted. I don't know. I'm just describing. I've never had this happen, so I'm just people say they need a plumber in the middle of the night, right? That's what you need. You need a plumber. You need somebody to help you out of that predicament. Things are bad. You're at a oh my God, I need help ASAP. If you're in this situation, you don't really care about the values of the plumber, right? Does that make sense? You don't really care if the plumber shares your values. And I don't mean just political values, right? I mean if somebody, I don't want to stereotype with the example that came to mind, but if somebody did, had weird things about their life or was financing something that I didn't agree with or whatever the case may be, whose values didn't align with mine. If it's a plumber in the middle of the night that I need, it's okay, right? I just need somebody here ASAP. But most of us are not living in that emergency level, right? And the other thing that I want to mention is that this will probably resonate with you guys too, which is if you have a pain point that's pretty darn painful, but it can be solved, or you think it can be solved because the copy was so good, with like a cheat sheet or something like really simple that you just got an ad and it was $7 and you're like, oh, okay, like I'll buy this, right? Without remembering who you bought it from, without really caring who you bought it from. Like the copy was good enough. It only cost $7. Like I'll buy it. Right? How many? I would love to get a yes in the chat because I can't see your faces. How many of you guys have bought, cheap stuff from an ad, and you didn't really care who the person was, who the person was? Yep. Okay. People don't want more tips and tricks and value. Yep, it's resonating with a lot of you. They want faster results. We've all heard that. Okay, Megan, you almost did it this morning. So people want faster results. We've all heard that before, right? But they also want to enjoy the journey to get there. In other words, if it's something that's not a quick fix, if it's not an emergency plumbing situation type problem that you have, if you know it's going to take more work to get there and to fix it, it matters who you work with. I remember when my son was born, I bought Honest Diapers. I love the name. Jessica Alba was a friendly person that I knew, and not in person, but that I knew more than like whoever's behind Pampers, whatever the case may be, right? And she cared about the environment. There were all sorts of things that aligned. And I was like, you know what? I like this brand. I like this brand because I know who the founder is. I know who the person behind it is. And I happen to like her too, right? And Sarah Blakely and folks who support her. In Spanx, right? The founder of Spanx. So we really care about who is the person behind the brand, and we care about their values. This is how purchasing decisions are made more and more and more. So getting people to feel that you are their person the moment that they meet you is the key to accelerating their results and your sales. So you have to know how to make that instant trust connection, the kind that makes people say yes before you've even pitched them. So I'm going to show you a quick video. I would love it if it didn't play by itself. Hold on. From Nadia. What does making that instant connection work, and how can it actually play out in your business, right? How can it actually give you results? We know that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. I've just explained to you why the like factor is so important, right? And we tend to skip over that. We tend to be like, people must know about me. I need to create awareness. I need to show up everywhere. I need to be present everywhere. And then we're like, can you buy from me? Right? We know we can help them. So it's like, how do we bridge that gap? How do we accelerate this process? Because again, not only are we accelerating our sales, making our business healthier, stronger, more growth, scaling our business, but we're also helping get more people more results faster. So I'm going to show you a quick example of that in action. Nadia was a brand video client of mine. And so this is what happened once she had the brand video. Oh, la, 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 la. One day I will learn how to go. There we go.
I love my brand videos so much. Like sometimes I just watch it over and over again. It's like, I can't believe that this is the end product of it. It's just so proud of it. Like this video is that extra push. Like you get to know me before we've even started. And I think that is one of the most beautiful parts about creating a brand video. Takes away that 5 extra emails before a phone call. Like you're right to it. You know each other. I'm like, let's do this. There's already that human connection.
So the last little bit is what I really wanted to show you. The part that she said about the human connection, right? The part that she said that she skips over those 5 extra emails back and forth. If you have a one-on-one service, or if you sell something a bit higher ticket, chances are people reach out to you, or they get on a call. They want to make sure that it's a fit before they buy, right? One thing that comes up a lot for both my students and then folks that I chat with in the online space is this idea that once you get people on a call, they're able to make that connection, right? They're able to really verify or have that person know who they are and really establish this really awesome bond that then makes the sale so much easier. I would love to hear from you guys. How many of you have experienced this, right? When you get on a coffee chat or on a discovery call or whatever you call it, that people then get to know you and that, they feel a lot more comfortable with you. Katie says yes. Barbara says yes. Audrey says yes, right? It makes sense. because that's the moment where we're having connection. We buy from people, right? People buy from people. And so what we're going to learn about today is how to package that in an asset that does that for you, that creates that feeling for you. And we're going to use the trust triggers to do that. This is an email that I got, probably like 3 weeks ago. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it was, I love it when people like assume I'm not going to read the email. Not sure if you'll receive this. I will receive it. If you send me an email, I will read it. But I had to let you know that your video captivated me, which I realize is the point. I started my coaching business a year ago, quickly realized that to stand out in this crowded market, my smoking gun is my story. However, I'm still trying to develop the courage to use it. And then skipping on down, powerful, that's all I can say. Your video was powerful enough to compel me to write and tell you. That's saying something. Thank you for sharing your gift. So the idea that this is just one of many emails that I've gotten like this, guys. And my clients have gotten it too. And I'll share a couple examples of that. But the idea that this is how she felt after watching a video, right? After watching 3-minute video, she felt compelled, to reach out to me. She felt touched. She felt inspired. She felt like she wanted to get the connection going, to right? And this is what accelerating trust means, is that in one video, she was able to understand what I'm like, what my values are, my mission, my drive, my personality, why I do this, why I believe in this, why I love this so much. And that applies to you, right? So it's a little bit meta because I'm a brand video person doing a brand video. You watch my brand video, but it doesn't matter what you do. The idea is that you can package that in something that people watch without me being online, right? I don't even know where she watched it, but she watched it. And by the way, it's in my email signature. It's pinned on my social media profile. So it's a lot of places. And I'll cover kind of where to put this asset. But the idea that she watched it and felt compelled to write. So coming up next, why did she feel compelled to write? How did I build my story? How do I build this with my students and my clients so that people can have this sort of reaction, right? It's not the spaghetti at the wall that maybe your About Me page was, and a lot of our About Me pages are like that. It's not. It's a very specifically curated and intentional way of telling your story. The trust triggers. All right, so this is what coming into the coaching space feels like. We talked about how noisy it is, how crowded it is, how exhausting it is to try to keep up. And boy, you can get swallowed so quickly in all of the noise, right? So trust isn't built through volume, it's built through connection. It's a single moment where somebody, actually your perfect person, feels like you see me, you get me, and I trust you. So let's break that down. The first trust trigger, actually here's all 4 of them if you want to take a screenshot of the slide. You get me, you care about me, you've got me, and we vibe. Those are the 4 things that your cold audience person, who may or may not be your perfect fit client, but that's how they start, right? That they come in cold at some point. This is what they need to feel in order to trust you, in order to set you apart, in order to create real estate in their minds for who you are, so that every time you do show up, there's a lot more impact. They're paying attention. They remember you. Remember Valerie? She's like, I remembered you. I could tell your story. I remembered your story. I mean, how amazing is that? And you don't have to have, I'm the only person that has a brand video in my program that has kind of a, quirky story like that. Everyone else has a story that you would have heard if it weren't told in a specific way. Maybe you would remember it. Maybe what I'm saying is the story itself is not it. It's how you tell it. It's which parts of the story and how you tell it so that you can activate these 4 trust triggers. So let's go into trigger number 1. You get me. This is what it means to get that person before you even pitch, before they even know you're selling anything, before any of that, right? Like, oh my gosh, can we please throw out this old playbook of like, you have to hook them in with a lead magnet. You have to nurture them for months and months. You have to show up consistently on social media. You have to do this. You have to do that. And again, I'm not saying those things don't work, but they take so long. And we're still fighting volume with volume. We're still fighting content with content. We're still shouting to be heard above the noise when in fact, the best sales happen It's the connection. It's the whisper. It's the beauty of like, hey, I know what I'm going to get to the trust triggers that, anyway, the first one is you get me. I understand where you're coming from. It doesn't mean I have to have lived it, right? So some of you are coaches and you help people overcome the same thing that you have overcome. That's not always the case, right? You might be helping somebody that doesn't have the same challenge that you overcame, but you get them on the deep level. This is what matters. You understand the frustrations, their goals, the words that they say to themselves in the middle of the night. Your job isn't to explain who you are, it's to reflect who they are. It's all about them, you guys. It's not about your story. It's not about what you think is important. It's about how do you get them to feel that you get them? How do you get them to feel that you care about them? Every time I talk about this trust trigger, I can't help but think, I mean, how many of you guys have seen these folks online who share like their Stripe screenshot of like, hey, I made 100K this month and here's my Stripe screenshot to prove it. Let me know in the chat if you have seen this. I'm curious whether it rubs you the wrong way. And gross. Okay. Right. And listen, I'm happy for you. You're making 100K a month. That's okay by me. Right. Like, I don't have a personal problem with that. What I don't want to feel is that all I am to you is a number in that screenshot. Right. Like, you're trying to sell me on your program that's high ticket probably for you to be making that much money so that you can brag to other people that you're making that much money and bring them into your like, I don't want to be a number. I don't know about you, but like, I'm done. In fact, I'm talking way too much, guys. We're like way blown past the time that I wanted to be in. This happens every time. But I will just say really quickly that I've been burned by high ticket coaches, one specifically, but let me know if this is you as well, if you've been burned by a high ticket coach, by some sort of really expensive program that promised the world and completely underdelivered, promised that they would care about me and didn't care about me. And it really taught me a lot about trust. It taught me a lot about what it means to build trust in this moment where trust is at an all-time low, where people are burned left and right. Audrey says she felt like a number also. First of all, I'm so sorry to hear, like, there you go. Megan's even too afraid to commit probably because of all the horror stories. This is the environment that we're dealing with, right? Not to go into too much detail, but I think a lot about the online space and online marketing, obviously. And I feel like, back in COVID days when people were just bringing their businesses online and there's like a huge explosion and people were buying left and right and like the numbers were amazing. We're past that, right? This is 2025. This is a moment where people have bought and have sometimes been okay. And other times they've bought and they've been really badly burned and they don't want to spend that money again. Why would I dish out another 10K, another 15K to work with somebody who might burn me again, might not deliver on all of these like amazing Stripe screenshots that they promised, right? And you're not getting the attention. You're having to pick a number to ask a question. That was my case in the program that I bought. Oh my goodness, don't even remind me. Third trust trigger. We're gonna beat that. You know how we're gonna beat that? With love, with connection, all at scale. And it's so beautiful and it's so awesome. Third trust trigger that they must feel in order to trust you is that you've got them. So this is the one that you're probably most aware of, right? This is the one that shows your expertise, your accolade, like you have results, right? You know what you're doing. They're not coming into a program that's like half built or whatever, or unless they know that. This is where you can show up as like, I'm the authority here. I know what I'm doing. You can rest and like, you can have relief now. Okay. So this is that part of the feeling. This is that color of the rainbow of trust. This is probably the one we're most familiar with, once again, because we're taught all the time, like, show up giving value, show up as the expert, show up as the authority. Like, this is the trust trigger that we're hitting with that. But to me, this comes third. To me, this comes after you get me. It comes after you care about me. Then I care about whether you're the expert. But that's also important, right? Like, just because you get me and you care about me, it might not be enough for me to invest. In fact, it probably isn't. But If those two are in place and you've got me, like, I'm in good hands with you, you're gonna take care of me, you're gonna actually get me results, you care, we're gonna work together on this, that's trust trigger number 3. All right, and then trust trigger number 4 is where the personality comes in, right? I have, there's this guy I follow, I've bought a few of his things, I haven't made massive investments with him, but this one doesn't hit for me. I love what he says, like, wow, oh my gosh, there's so much alignment between what he teaches and how I feel about marketing, how I see, everything that you're learning here kind of comes from, from that, not from him, but like we align here. And yet, um, he's just kind of not my person. And that's okay. We're not for everybody. We all have our personality. We're all different. And this is trust trigger number 4, right? Like, do we actually match as people? Like, would I love the experience of working with you in order to get to the results that you're promising? This is that like unspoken, yes, the energy, the resonance. I am careful with that word because you're not resonating to them on their level. You're resonating to them from an expert level. So there's some nuance there with the word resonance, but there's still like that feeling of like, I like this person. This is where like comes from, right? So those are the 4 trust triggers. You get me, you care about me, you've got me, and we vibe. If you have any questions, definitely ask them in the chat, and I will do a Q&A at the end. It's hard to hit those trust triggers, right? And that is why we end up competing on volume. We compete on like, okay, let me provide a ton of value. Let me show up consistently. Let me make sure that people know that I'm good at what I do, that I know what I'm talking about, that I can help them. Like bam, 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 bam. When in fact, or here's my 1,000 testimonials. Um, when in fact, it's so much more about knowing how to effectively hit those trust triggers in that instant trust test, like in the very beginning of that magical moment when the cold audience, when people new to your world are of their own free will, of their own energy, of their own intent, finding out, checking you out, finding out what you're about. That's when you want to hit those trust triggers so that, just like Valerie, just like a bunch of other people will write me, they can feel that they know me and that they like me and that they're paying attention to me when I show up. So, secret number 3, the trust loop. So what does this mean? Let's do this at scale now, right? Well, once we've understood the power of hitting those trust triggers, the power of doing it in that first moment, how can we make sure that this is happening without us having to show up and do it in person on a coffee chat every single time? That's a shame because this is a really great photo. How can I show you this photo? Because it's so cute. It's funny because it's showing up for me in my slide, but not for you guys. Um, nope. Okay. Oh, that's such a shame. Okay. So let me describe what this blank photo here is. Thank you, Canva. So that blank photo was maybe a story that you heard from a while back. And it was Princess Day at school. And all these little girls are lined up dressed as princesses, right? They all came in with their I don't know, frozen dresses. And I have a boy, so I have no idea. But so they all came in, they lined up on Princess Day. And this one little girl, she decided to wear something else, right? Not this little girl, by the way. This is Jen Wynnum. She's a fantastic copywriter. And she uses this story in her marketing because the little girl in that picture that you can't see, so use your best imagination, she showed up in a hot dog costume. And it is so awesome because that is the story that everyone told, right? On Princess Day, here's this girl just owning her thing, doing it her way, and showing up with a hot dog costume. And so Jen has just like embraced that for her own marketing about how to stand out, right? And the phrasing that she uses is when they go princess, we go hot dog. So I want you to remember that, right? I want you to remember that if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then you are a princess on Princess Day. And you might look great, but you're going to blend in and people are not going to remember you. And this is a story that nobody will tell. I wouldn't be here telling you about Princess Day where all the little girls in this town or at that school showed up wearing a princess dress, right? But this story, and I wish you could see the picture, made national news for a reason because it was the hot dog girl on Princess Day who showed up, and she was awesome, right? So this is the power of story, you guys, right? This is the power of story that makes things be remembered 22 times more than facts. If you are delivering value alone, you are competing 22-0 with somebody sharing an amazing story. Because stories have been proven, studies show that stories are 22 times more memorable than facts alone. Other reasons why you should tell your story. Your story is your strongest differentiator. It is the easiest way for you to set yourself up from the crowd or apart from the crowd. It's not about what you sell. Like, if you take nothing away from this training today, I want you to know that it's not about what you're selling. It's not your frameworks. It's not the blah, 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 blah of your program. Like, it's not. It's really not. There are other people who are talented, who are strong, and who can do it well for their people, right? So if you compete on that alone, it's you can win, like you can definitely have a business that way, right? But it's so much harder. And I want you to understand that once you double down on what makes you unique, what makes you the freaking hot dog on Princess Day, you're going to make it so much easier for yourself to connect with cold audiences in that moment, in that first initial moment. And you're going to make it so much, you're going to make your content, and every time you do show up, have so much more impact and really touch people in a way that you can't with just value. Another reason why story is because telling stories, neuroscience shows us that telling stories actually releases oxytocin. I am so nerdy about neuroscience and storytelling, but this is the only nugget I'm going to give you today because we don't have a ton of time. So just know that there's actually like chemical reactions that happen when you hear somebody's story that's told well. So that's the variation, right? It can be a bad story, a bland story, that's not necessarily memorable. It's not story for the sake of story. It has to be a good story. It has to be a story that actually cuts through and makes people feel something. So that feeling is actually also biochemical happening in your brain. The other, oh man, I can't, let's see, I want to tell you about all the neuroscience stuff, but this is the only one I'm going to give you. Okay. Canva. Actually, maybe you guys can see this because I see this on the screen here. A bunch of other awesome storytelling stats about how storytelling is impactful in marketing. I just want to read you one or two of these. That this is kind of a newer one that's shown up, is that there's been a 20% recorded increase in customer loyalty for brands who tell compelling brand stories. So before, there was a bit more emphasis on just like storytelling in general in marketing, and then we all understood that that's actually a good thing, and that's really strong and powerful. But even a brand story will help people connect. Like, I give you the examples of like Jessica Alba and Honest Diapers and Sarah Blakely and Spanx and all of these brands and companies that we buy from. Tesla right now is having the reverse effect with Elon Musk and people being like, I dissociate with this person. I don't want this car. Other people are like, I love my Tesla. So, I'm not getting into politics here, but it's just so important, right? Why does who Elon Musk is matter to the car that you drive, right? It's because we care. We care about who we're spending money with or on. We care that if their brand story resonates with us, if their brand story builds trust with us, we are much more likely to invest in them. We've hit the trust triggers. Now we just have to see is it a good fit? Is this the exact thing? Like, it's not, like I said, it's not a magic bullet, but it accelerates that process for us. So to leverage your story, you have to know exactly how to hit those 4 trust triggers. You have to make your audience feel something the moment that they meet you. And most people have no idea how to do that. In fact, it's kind of hard to do it on your own. It's hard to like understand your story from an outsider's perspective. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you, Steve. That's probably the hot dog princess link there. Thank you. I would love to hear from you guys really quickly. How many of you can help your clients with what you do, whether it's mindset coaching, whether it's marketing, whether it's copywriting, whether it's, let me think what else, fitness folks, like they kind of have to be good at fitness. But for the most part, it is, give me a yes in the chat. if it's so much easier to do it for your clients than to do it for yourself. Megan says, OMG, yes. Katie also says yes. Yeah. It is what it is. It's hard to like not only spend time doing it for ourselves, but also it's hard to see ourselves and to prioritize our own businesses when it's the thing that we do for others or our own lives. If maybe you're a mindset coach or any sort of non-business related coach, it's hard, right? And we tend not to prioritize it. And then on top of that, it's not only hard because we might not get to it, it's hard to actually implement it and see ourselves from an external perspective. Like, how do people perceive us if that is what you help them with? Whoops. Okay. So in order to do, okay, so here's a writer downer as well. So how do you do that, right? Thanks, Melinda. Catch the replay if you can. In order to do that, you have to reverse engineer from your audience feelings of trust back into the parts of your story that will hit the trust triggers effectively, right? So this is how it works. You reverse engineer from how your audience needs to feel about you into your story. Okay. So it sounds crazy. It sounds woo woo, but that is the key to knowing what parts of your story to tell, what parts are actually going to move the needle for your business. So here's a story of my client, Casey. She talks about how she knew for a long time that video would elevate her business. She actually used to do marketing at L'Oreal. That's her background. And now she's a life and sobriety coach. It's something I needed to do to connect with my audience. And yet I was hesitating, right? The tech challenge of filming, of videoing, the equipment to work on my brand video about my story was very daunting. I mean, everything from lighting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And when she worked with me, the process was really easy. So the idea is that it can be challenging to do it, but I have figured out a way, friends, I figured out a way to not make it so, to make it a whole lot easier, to reverse engineer from that. She talks, so this is another proof case, right? So once her brand video was created, she put it in her welcome sequence. She put it on her website. She put it on her, where else did it go? On her social media profiles. She shared it everywhere. A brand video is the most ROI that you will ever get on an asset because it goes everywhere and it lives forever. You don't change it unless you change your business, right? If you start doing something else, if your business, if you decide to completely pivot your business, your brand video might not work as well for you. But otherwise, if you're set on your ways, my friend, this is an ROI that will pay for itself over and over and over again. It's an asset that will really be a forever asset in your business. In her case, once she started using it, she started getting responses from, I'm going to show you in another slide. Hold on. This is actually, okay, so she was a podcaster. So she talked about how she had been used to podcasting and she's kind of hiding behind the mic. So the idea of being on camera, so maybe this is a thing for you too, right? The idea of like, oh man, I'm uncomfortable on camera. Photos you can kind of retouch, and video is a lot more vulnerable. It's a lot more straightforward in the sense that there's a lot less flexibility for how you look. If maybe that's a concern for you. But the important thing, and by the way, same thing with me and my brand video. Like, I feel this so hard. When I watch my brand video, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hit that shot. Oh my Lord, 30 extra pounds here. I have all of these thoughts crossing my head. At the same time, I'm like, you know what? This thing's working for me. It's my best team member, right? It's the thing that I leverage over and over again. Now, we'll talk about that in a second too. So this is what Casey did. She, like I said, this is a little screenshot of her welcome sequence email where she put GIFs of her brand video in there, and the response rate skyrocketed. This was, it was the highest total clicks of all of the emails that she sent. I think her list at the time was like 17,000 or something. And this was like quite recently after she posted, so I'm sure the numbers go up. But that's what I want you to think about. Cold audiences, right? People who do not know you are reading an email about you. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine somebody who just met you through a lead magnet and they're getting an email where they're interacting with your story, where your story is coming to life for them, and they're making that instant connection. So not only are people clicking, but they're responding to her and they're saying, my story is the same. Oh my gosh, like, wow, this is my story. This is where I come from and what my journey is. Look at the connection that's created from a welcome sequence email. It's insane. These are some other reactions that she's gotten from her brand video, and this is an email that she got from somebody who had been listening to her podcast for a long time. It seems that I know you a bit more now. It lets you appear much more like a friend and much less like a stranger or a coach named Casey. To me, that's just like mind blowing, right? It's somebody who had been listening to her podcast, who had been consuming her content. And yet, when she watched the brand video, she was like, wow, I feel like I know you so much more now, or a bit more now. But it feels like you're no longer, I can see how we have a connection now. So in order to do that, I talked about how you have to reverse engineer from that feeling to understand which parts of your story are going to create that feeling. This is how you do it. This is the brand magnetic framework. I'm going to give you the 5-step framework to create trust at scale without burning out, my friend. This is how we do it. First of all, you have to know your audience deeply. You have to know them really, really deeply. If you do any marketing at all, this is not news to you, but we're talking deep. We're talking, you have to know what keeps them up at night. You have to know their deepest desires. You have to know their why, like what's going to resonate with them, what's going to actually hit those trust triggers for them. It has to be deep. The second thing is, I'm sure most of you have heard about what your USP, your unique selling proposition is. This is not what we mean here. When I say know your uniqueness, it's knowing why people buy from you specifically. Do you guys remember I told you that in the beginning of the session today? Why do people buy from you specifically? Then you have to find the intersection. You have to find the thing that makes you unique to your audience with their lived experiences, with the things that they care about and that are a part of their world. Your brand story is not about you. I'm going to say that again. Your brand story is actually not about you. Your brand story is all about your audience and all about how they need to feel in order to trust you. Then there's a story framework that you just put this story into. And finally, it's all great and good to have a story. You can maybe use it on stage. You can use it on a Zoom call, whatever the case may be. But to me, the superpower is when you can package that and have it do the work for you so that you're not having to have only one-on-one conversations. So you're building trust at scale with all of the people coming into your universe, whether they end up being your perfect clients or not. They can refer you, they can talk about you, they'll remember you. All right. So let's do a quick recap. Here are the 3 secrets that we learned today. The first secret is that instant trust test, right? That instant that people meet you and that they need to decide whether they want to pay attention to you or not, whether you're worth paying attention to. The second secret are the 4 trust triggers, right? You get me, you care about me, you've got me because you're the expert. And fourth of all, we vibe, right? Our personalities are a good match. I like you. I want to hang out with you. I really feel like you're the person for me. Also because of who you are as a person. And then secret number 3 is how to achieve that, right? How to reverse engineer from your audience's lived experiences, understanding what makes you unique to them, understanding why they buy from you specifically or why they would buy from you specifically, and then understanding which parts of your story to tell once you've figured that out, right? Once you figure that intersection of those 2 things. And then finally, I talk about how to package that in a brand video. So, this is the part of the presentation where you have to decide what to do, my friend. You can use this information, go at it alone, try your best, try to, actually I have a slide here that's really funny. I always talk about this because, we all agree that it's really hard doing things for ourselves, that we are so badass at doing for other people. And I always say you can be the best surgeon in the world, but it's going to be really hard to perform surgery on yourself. It's really hard to hold up a mirror to yourself and to do the thing that you're good at to yourself, or even understand how your story can make somebody else feel. It's hard. It's hard. I know that because I did it for myself, and I don't recommend it. In the sense that when I was creating my brand video, I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. And so I think it's really important to have that sounding board and that person who can see the outsider's view and help you get to that right place so you can do it alone. Yes, you can. Or you can not do it at all, right? You can not get the surgery done. You're the best surgeon in the world, but you can not have that surgery done and still feel the burnout of trying to be heard above the noise and taking 1,700 touch points to hopefully reach your perfect person. You can stay, right? You can not do anything with anything that you learned today. Last offer, you can get it right the first time, right? You can work hand in hand with someone who has done it successfully over and over. And here are some of my clients. I know them all by name. This is JC. She's a fitness coach. Then we've got Angel, who is a nurse who teaches other nurses how to accumulate wealth and get out of the rat race of nursing. There's Julia, the podcast teacher, who teaches people how to start their own podcasts. And when I worked with Julia, she didn't even have her own podcast. So we had to really understand why people loved her because she didn't have an overcome story. There's Joanna, who's a money coach. There's Lucy, who's a mindset and peak performance coach. Sabrina is a movement coach for elderly women. So we had to understand how to make her the right person for women who are, decades older than her. And why should they trust her? Actually, that was the case with JC too. She works with perimenopausal women, right? And so we had to understand why would they want to work with JC, who's not perimenopausal, right? Who's actually, wanting a family. So, and then Zach is also a fitness coach. I don't discriminate. They're also men in my world. So this is my life's work and the proven process packaged into a single one-of-a-kind program. It's the Brand Video Accelerator, as you guys have heard of. And this is the program that all of the methods I've showed you today are barely scratching the surface. I mean, they don't even make a dent. The Brand Video Accelerator is all about helping you become wildly profitable by leveraging your story for instant connection. Does it solve all your visibility problems? No, you still need an audience to speak to. You still need people coming in. However, this is the thing that's going to make every single person that comes in count. So this is the differentiation I want to tell you about, because you can spend all your time generating traffic and getting a big audience and growing your email list, but if people unsubscribe before they've had a chance to connect with you, that's just wasted labor. That's just, and I'm not saying every person's going to buy, but they should either buy or recommend you, right? Or talk about you or remember you or refer you. And if they're your perfect person, they should buy from you a lot more quickly. They shouldn't need to be nurtured over months and months and months and months. So it's about how to make the most impact for every single person that you bring in to your business. Will a brand video help you bring more people in? It will, in the sense that you can use it for PR, you can use it to pitch people, and I cover that in the program as well. How can you use your brand video to pitch people? And I know that because I was a journalist for 15 years. The New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Time Magazine. Where else did I, like In Office? I think those were the three. Oh, NBC, Peacock for 5 years. I should remember that. But anyway, so I understand from a journalist point of view how to use your brand video to pitch and make your pitch stand out. So you can use it in that way to grow your audience. But the most important thing that I focused on, and again, like that could be the most important thing for you, and that's all great. It can be in your media kit. You can send. I'll show you how a lot of my clients have landed amazing press with their brand video. In addition to that, every person that comes in should feel that connection to you. So there's no wasted effort here. So instant connection in a video that makes complete strangers feel like you're the one for them. And the best part, like I said, it works for you 24/7. So once you complete it, you have to put in the work. And once you do, it's a forever asset. You install the system and you go about your business because it's doing the work for you 24/7. So what will you actually learn once you're inside? You're going to learn how to find that story that actually builds trust, right? It's not spaghetti at the wall anymore. There's a science, there's a framework, there's a joy, oh my gosh. One of the feedback that I get that is most touching to me, I'm losing my voice, that's most touching to me is that how much people gain confidence doing this work. And it's not, it's not why you do this, but it is like an amazing side effect of this process. You're also going to learn how to write an incredibly captivating script for your brand video. You're going to learn how to capture simple emotional visuals that make your perfect person really feel something. It's that connection that lasts, that real estate in their brains, including the visuals. So it's not your run-of-the-mill B-roll. It's really the way that I break it down is very, very simple. So don't be, intimidated by that. It's not a filmmaking school. It really is how to use your phone. You're not hiring there's not expensive equipment involved. It's all on your phone, and how to do it very simply to get beautiful visuals that stand out. Which, by the way, once you learn that, you can do that for social media all day, every day. A lot of my clients are like, oh my gosh, I learned so much about how to use my phone better and how to create great visuals that I use on social media all the time. One student said, I'll never watch another video again in the same way. And then finally, how to install that system so that it works for you 24/7. You have to know where to put it. You have to know where to use it so that it's doing the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so what would you get when you join the Brand Video Accelerator? First of all, you get the entire system. You get all of the trainings. There's not a ton of them. In fact, like the trainings, I kept it very, very short. My students love that. They're not like 10, 20-minute long videos. Each video is about 5 minutes long, and you're like, boom, 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 getting it done, learning the things. It is a concise program. It is not a massive program in the sense that I have really distilled the information. There's no fluff in here. There's no wasted time. I don't know about you, but I can't I like even shy away from big programs now. I have so many of them and I cannot get to them. Let me know in the chat if this is similar to you where like you have bought programs that you've barely touched. I have bought courses that I know are good, but they are heavy. They're like a whole encyclopedia set. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I know they're good, but I don't have time. So I made it so that you can actually go through this program and actually learn what you need to know in order to create your brand video. Katie, a whole virtual library. Totally agree. I mean, I almost feel selfish. I have like so much curriculum on my computer. Those were the days. Okay. Whoops. The other thing that you're going to do, very important, is live support coaching. Okay. So you're not coming into this program to be thrown to the wolves, to have to figure it out yourself. And yes, I give you the frameworks in the program. Yes, I give you the templates and the swipe files and cheat, all of that good stuff is in there, but there's still support. I am your surgeon. You are no longer doing this on your own, creating this asset on your own. You probably weren't doing that to begin with because we're not paying attention to our story. But hopefully today you understood how powerful, how important, how like crazy, ridiculously, ninja this tool is. In fact, I'm feeling a little sad because I had a bunch of other slides that got missed because I had the wrong deck. But I was talking about a lot of my other students as well and how Morgan, for example, she's a 70-year-old woman who just completed her brand video. So if you think you're too old, my friend, no. If you think you're too busy, Sue just completed her brand video and she's loving the results from it. Sue is a life coach. She's I believe that's her title, life coach. And Sue is a mom to 4 kids that she homeschools. So there is no excuse. Like literally, she's probably the busiest person I know who juggles motherhood and homeschooling and running her business. And she got her brand video done. That is how simple I've made this process. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's simplified. You get the support that you need. The exclusive community, right? You can interact with people that are your peers that, oh my gosh, I know people within my community who've started working with each other, who recommend each other. It is really awesome vibes in the Brand Video Accelerator. Megan is asking, how long is the program? It is 12 weeks, which to some of you might be like, oh my gosh, that's not enough time. And then to others, I talked to somebody who was like, wait, I thought it was an accelerator. Can I get it done in less time? You can get it done as quickly as you want. You can get it done probably the fastest. Okay, let me think. I would say 3 weeks is 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks is probably the fastest that I would. And here's the thing. Here's also why. This is actually an important part of the creative process. If you want a window into my world, into this world, which is it's actually good to kind of leave yourself a little bit of time to digest. And here's why. This is not a reel. that you post on Instagram and you forget about, right? This is not something that just gets posted and then you're like, oh, hope for the best. This is a very intentional system that you are installing in your business. And so I don't actually want you to rush through this. We are doing deep, deep work, and work that impacts your messaging, impacts how you show up online, impacts, like I said, your confidence, and impacts your sales. And so for that reason, you could do it in less time, but I like to give you 12 weeks because I want to be there to support you. I also know that as a busy business owner, you might not have 4 homeschooled kids at home, but you still wear a lot of hats and you've got a lot of stuff to do. And this is why the Brand Video Accelerator is, oh my gosh, it's so synthesized. It is just like boom, 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 do this, do that. I will help you. I've got 20 years on me, right? And I've distilled them into this is all you need to know. So Megan, that is the answer to your question there. And then as I mentioned, finally, you will interact, you will network, you will get feedback from other folks in the community who are awesome, which by the way, I love to say this, and this will happen for you too. Once your brand video is out there and your values are on display, this is the people you attract. I have not had a single jerk in my surround, like nobody's come into my world that has not been awesome, that has not been values driven. This is also what I care about, right? Like I really care about helping people. If I'm going to help you accelerate trust in your business, I want to believe in what you do in the sense that you're not the scammer here. You're not the person burning other people online. And if I feel like you are, I will happily refund you and we will part ways. I'm very much intentional about who I work with. It's not application based, but only because I've only attracted people who align with what I teach and who align with the value of the brand video. What else do you get? You get the brand video script templates. So you are not left wondering, what the heck should I write? How do I make this script actually resonate with people, actually move them? You will get templates for that. You are in good hands. Feedback sessions, as I mentioned, I give you feedback on your script, on your shoot, on your edit, on your messaging, on understanding your client deeply. If you're not understanding them deep enough, listen, you can do whatever you want, but I kind of don't let you keep going in the program. And that's not true. You can do whatever you want. You can seriously keep going and finish your brand video. But I do warn you that it won't be as effective. So if I feel like you're not deep enough, I encourage you to go back. That was a lot of information about the feedback session, but this is how I work. And the brand video works when it's impactful. This is not a run-of-the-mill video that you create. Step-by-step creative plan for your brand video. So you're like, oh, what do I shoot? How do I shoot this? There's a step-by-step plan so that you can actually get it done, right? So you're not like kind of swimming in curriculum like most of these programs are, where you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. No, you have a step-by-step plan. You kind of check things off as you go and actually get it done. Once again, here's the thing, guys. I'm just going to break from the presentation for a second. It does me no good for you to buy this program and not actually do it, which is not a thing a marketer should ever say, right? Most people are out there just trying to make money anyway. This is almost like a lost leader for me. I'm going to show you the price in a minute. It's not the cheapest thing you'll ever see. Just so I'll warn you there. However, in terms of what I'm doing here, like what this program is about, is it's a loss leader given the amount of time that I spend with each and every one of my students. There's a lot of hand-holding, there's a lot of love for the students that show up, right? And luckily, the students that haven't showed up because things happened or life or whatever, it wasn't because they didn't want to be there. But the ones that could be there and showed up and did the work, I showed up with them just as much. And so why am I saying this? I lost my train of thought, but I think I just wanted to kind of explain to you what this program means to me. Oh, here's the thing. The biggest ROI for me in this program is less about your investment today, and it's more about your case study. It's more about this video working for you. It's more about your experience in the program, but your results ultimately. And so I want to encourage you, if you are committed to doing it. And I'm here to answer any questions about it as well. But it doesn't it doesn't really help me if you buy today. And I don't, no marketer should ever say that, right? But truly, I'm looking for people who are committed because I spend so much time and effort into helping you and meeting you exactly where you are. That's a great question, Sarah. I don't have that off the top of my head. And typically what I do is I'm a little bit flexible because I've had students in New Zealand, the UK, here in the US, Canada. So I like to be able to offer calls or, as much as possible. You can't always accommodate everyone, but I do try to be reasonable in regards to that. All right. Thank you, Audrey. Yay, amazing. I'm gonna keep going here, guys. So hooks for your brand video. Nobody will watch a brand video if it's boring from the get-go. We all know that. We all know that we have to grab people from the start. There's a whole list of hooks that you can use for your brand video. And also you'll have my feedback if we need to like personalize the hook for you. Next thing, what music do I use in my brand video? You do not have to worry about that. I've got an entire music vault of curated songs that you can use in your brand video. You're not spending time looking through a ton of music. You can do that if you like, but you can also use my music vault for your brand video. It's all done. The real brand video breakdown session. I do curated like shot by shot and backstories of different brand videos. You have all of those trainings with you when you join the Brand Video Accelerator. And I can't tell you, like, this is, I get a lot of feedback from students that this is one of the most awesome parts of the program because you kind of see by watching an example, right? And by hearing sort of my director's, even though I wasn't the director, but kind of the director's cut, well, for my clients that I do are done for you service, which costs upwards of $20,000. For them, I was the director. So I tell you exactly why we shot, how we shot it, what was like the story behind it, how we set it up. And all of that's like students tell me is like chef's kiss, super, super helpful. In addition to that, you will get how to strategically position your brand video for the most leverage. This is how you do it, right? Like once your brand video is done, where do I actually use it? Where does it go? How can I make the most of this investment? In order to, again, leverage this trust to create trust at scale. So all of the different places that you can use your brand video, this is a list that I'm constantly thinking about, constantly curating or tweaking to add even more places. A lot of times it's my clients, my students being like, oh, hey, Mariana, I use my brand video for yada, yada. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a good idea. Just the other day, I added yet another spot for the brand video to be used and to be leveraged. So there is so much here that you can do with this one video asset. The other thing I'm going to mention, guys, that I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. This is not a program where I even have anything to sell you afterwards, which is a terrible business model. By the way. I believe so much in having a brand video work for your business that this is my only focus. Once you're done, I might have like some continued coaching if you like that. I do have a couple students who want me to continue working with them for messaging, for even for some business coaching as well. But this is my baby right here. So not only that, so once you complete the brand video, you install the system, you're done. Maybe in the future I'll have something else for you, but right now this is it. This is it. So you're not going to be upsold onto anything else. Unless again you desire to keep working with me, in which case most of the time it's the students asking me how they can keep working with me. Bonus number 2, camera confidence workshop. If you are like most human beings, you're not Kim Kardashian, and showing up in front of the camera may or may not be something you're like super comfortable with. I will help you get comfortable. There's a bit of mindset around that, and there's just like practical skills to help your brand video feel natural, sound natural, really feel. So we're trying to emulate, or we are emulating a coffee chat, right? An intimate conversation with your cold audience person who hasn't even identified, right? Who hasn't even shown up. They can just consume your video in the privacy of anonymity, but you have to be there, right? You have to really make them feel like they are getting an inside look at who you are. How long on average will the video be? Yes. So brand videos are typically 2 to 3 minutes long. I really don't like them to be shorter than 2, and then longer than 3, 3.5 is kind of the max that we go for. Sarah, if you haven't watched a brand video, maybe you've watched mine at least. Best place for me to send you. I don't want you guys to go away right now, but I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat. There's a bunch of brand videos there that you can watch. So camera confidence, I can help myself with this GIF. I thought it was way too funny in terms of like showing up on camera with tons of confidence. And then finally, brand spanking new, and this is only for the first 10 students. There's a reason why it's only for the first 10 students. It's not fake scarcity, fake urgency. It's really because this part of the program is still requiring a lot of handholding from me because I'm still developing my team of AI bots. And so the way that I came about developing this AI team that I've created is by working with my one-on-one clients, my brand video signature clients, where we do all the filming, all the scripting, all the editing for them. And I started creating bots to help me accelerate this process. And in the future, I don't know. This will probably be an upsell in the program. I'm not sure. It probably will be an upsell. But for now, it's completely included for the first 10 students where you can have your scripts and your shot list done for you by my team of bots. Also know that I don't just run them through the bots and then spit it out for you to look at. I actually look at it myself first. So you're getting my eyes on your script and on your shot list before you even look at them. So you're hitting the ground running with this bonus. That's only available to first 10 because it's going to be very curated. And again, I'm actually going through the scripts myself, and it's helping me learn how to teach the bots better. But you will not see any of that. You will just see a script that is a first draft for us to tweak and work together. This, my friends, will save you quite a bit of time because you can hit the ground running right away. Provided that you have, if you understand your audience really well, you have to kind of fill this worksheet out. I'm obviously not, imagining your story for you, but if you have some of these elements in place, once you do, boom, you've got a first draft of your script and your shot list already done for you. You're off to the races. So Joanna, one of my students, said, I had no idea when I joined. This is way more than a program about brand videos. For some folks, as I mentioned, and I would say, honestly, for most folks that have joined the Brand Video Accelerator, it is truly transformational. Sounds like it's a program about brand videos, but truly, in order to get to a brand video that converts, you need so much clarity in your messaging. You need to know your audience so well. There's so many benefits from that for your copywriting, for your messaging, for how you show up online, that confidence. You know how to tell your story. You now obviously have this asset, but it's so much more than that. In order to get to a brand video that converts, you need to be on top of your game. And so this is what we do. This is the process that we do. Mariana, you're brilliant. Your program is phenomenal. Thank you, Joanna. And this is Lucy. Lucy completed her brand video a few months ago. And these are some of the messages that she got. Really uplifting and inspiring story. I felt hopeful that change can happen, insightful and warming. I can see what you sound like and look like, which is comforting. The message I heard was lean in, be brave, believe in myself, and gave me hope that change is truly possible and not far from reach. This was, I believe, who ended up being a future client of Lucy's that wrote that. Wow, that video was awesome. So this was from her coach. Thank you, Lucy's coach, that her video is awesome. And it's a valuable video that I would leverage. Well, so would I. I loved it. I felt like I knew you a lot better. I really got that you had been through the experiences. And if I wanted to be coached, I would want that knowledge from my coach. So this is apparently not a prospective client, but again, so this is, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I had a student who watched somebody else's brand video and she's like, I don't need that person's service. I'm not their client, but now I know who to recommend to people. Like when my friends, when my peers need help with this thing, she's the person I'm going to recommend. I wish I had time to show you guys this other thing that happened. I sent it in an email a couple of days ago. I don't know if you saw, but it was this amazing magical moment that happened when I was teaching another class and I showed Elizabeth's brand video, and somebody that was watching raised her hand, came off mute, and was like, this is my story. Like, oh my God, like I see it now. I don't have to have a million other touch points with Elizabeth. I'm going to reach out to her. And so that was amazing. It made Elizabeth cried, or not. Actually, that didn't make Elizabeth cry. Elizabeth cried because she watched her brand video again, and it was so deep for her. And this is the level that we bring, right? Where a lot of my clients will watch their brand videos and kind of cry because it's like, wow, this is awesome. This is like really my essence here. I cried because I thought that was really cool. The exchange that happened. Mariana's expertise in filmmaking and branding is nothing short of phenomenal. She possesses a unique ability to articulate what makes a brand not only connect, but truly magnetic. After working with her, renewed sense of clarity and purpose. So this is what I'm talking about, right? These other fringe benefits. It's called the Brand Video Accelerator, but honestly, there's so much that needs to go into creating something that works, and that's a system that really actually makes a difference in your brand in your business. And so Sheena was talking about some of those added benefits of clarity and purpose, and really knowing how to connect with people and to attract the right people. This is, oh my goodness, I'm totally blanking on her name. Oh, this is so bad. Sabrina. I just talked about Sheena. I was like, wait, I know it starts with an S. So this is what Sabrina said. Mariana's program pushed me to dig so deep. I gained so much confidence on what exactly makes me different from everyone else, how to communicate that, and position myself as the authority in my niche. But most importantly, I know exactly how to speak to my audience so they feel an immediate emotional connection to me. Mariana's expertise and her clear, simple framework made this one of the best programs I've ever taken. Thank you, Sabrina. I'm a course addict, so that says a lot. She says, I love that my brand video makes my ideal audience feel heard and inspired, and that I'm now the person they know they want to work with. So this is the kind of confidence that she's now bringing into her business because of the results that she's had from her brand video. You might remember Nadia, right? Like people are skipping those emails back and forth. They're just reaching out to her because it's positioning, guys. It's all about priming and positioning before you even make a sale, before you even make an offer. You position yourself. You don't have to shout. You don't have to be heard above the noise. You have your own unique space in people's hearts and minds with this asset that like cuts through the noise, that really, really creates a bond between you and that other person who you haven't met yet, by the way. These are shots from Sabrina's brand video that she filmed all herself on her phone. Congrats, Sabrina. And then you guys might recognize this name, Jenna Couture. She and I have been talking about a brand video for her. She just said, I just love you and your spirit. I'm interested in this. So TBD, I don't know when we're going to be able to actually finalize this, but this is a conversation that I'm having with Jenna about her brand video. And I'm excited because my values align with hers. And I think it would be really, really fun. I definitely think you're onto something. She says, I think so too, Jenna. I know so. So this is, again, what brand video clients pay me to do this for them. And if maybe that's you, go ahead and contact me to see if we'd be a good fit, if you want to know more about the process. But this is my starting rate as of right now for the brand video signature, where it's all done for you. I don't actually travel to you, by the way. So this is still my sort of remote rate. If you want me to come and direct it for you, it starts at about 50K. But here you are. And I'll work with you hand in hand to create your beautiful, powerful, emotion-driven brand video that accelerates trust with your perfect fit clients at a fraction of the cost. This is Valerie's email from the beginning of this call, right? Valerie, who just joined the Brand Video Accelerator for this round because every time she saw me, which wasn't a lot, right? In these groups, I'm actually not that active in some of these groups anymore. She was like, every time I did see your name, I remembered who you were. I could tell your story. I could tell people about your story. That's how much I knew your story and how much of that impact. And because her business, this is why I resurfaced this. Her offers take a lot of trust and personal connection. So I just want to tell you, if you're on this call right now and what you sell is like a low ticket, either info product or digital product, right? If you sell like a cheat sheet or a template or something like that and it's low ticket, you don't need this program. I have to be honest, like, yes, it's a nice to have. Yes, it will help you, but this is not who it's meant for. And the reason is you're going to invest in this program. And people, there's not that much of a barrier for you to make sales. So I would prefer you to invest in great copywriting. And you don't, at this point in your business, unless you you know you're going to gravitate to a high ticket offer, it's just not a good fit. Like I prefer that you invest it in something else for your business. But if what you sell requires people to trust you and requires you to reach out to people who may have been burned, like you may have been burned, or who are just like really skeptical of all of these online courses and online coaches. And, there's a lot of people out there that don't understand that there are good people like us in this space. And so you have to work to gain their trust, or maybe you're working to get their trust because you're not the local person to them. You're working with them remotely. There's all sorts of reasons why you might need to build a lot of trust in order for people to invest in you. If that's the case, this is where the brand video is perfect for you. It's perfect for your business. Whether it's perfect for you or not, only you can say, but it's perfect for this kind of business. This is my entire life's work, right? It's 15 years of filmmaking, 15 years of going to Ukraine and Russia and Afghanistan and, oh my gosh, where else? Finland and Haiti and like all of these places where I had to meet people and learn to build trust fast. And then I've learned so much about marketing. I've been studying marketing for a very long time. And I am a marketer, right? I am somebody who is in it. I'm not just teaching you how to do it. Not only that, but I did it myself. I went through my own program. I went through and did it myself and figured out like, okay, I need to make this easier here. Oh, I need to simplify this here. So now you have that process where it's already figured out for you and it's simple. Remember Morgan, she's 70 years old and she did it. Her brand video is amazing. She actually has a really cool business called Cover Your Assets. It's a skirt and it's anyway, so she has like an e-commerce product. Most of the folks that I work with don't have e-commerce, but it definitely works for e-commerce as well. When you join the Brand Video Accelerator, quick recap, you have the brand video system, you have the live supporting calls with me. I don't have other coaches at the moment. At the time of this recording, I don't have other coaches in the program. You're working with me directly. And you have the power of that community to give you feedback, to support you, to connect with you, to network with you, all of that amazingness. Yes, Isabel, I absolutely do have those. And they will be on the sales page, which I'm going to put right now in the chat. So they're not up yet, but I will add them. I will add Sabrina's and Lucy's and Morgan's and all of the brand videos done by students. You will also get the brand video script templates, the feedback sessions with me, the step-by-step creative plan so you can actually be accountable and actually make progress and actually complete your brand video by the end of the program. This is not an investment that's going to be like, oh man, I bought that program and I never checked it out. I got too busy, blah, blah. No, this will keep me accountable. But I also, in order to make this work, you have to put in the effort. So you have to show up as well. When you show up, I show up for you. Hooks for your brand video so people actually watch it. Imagine spending all that time creating a brand video and then your hook isn't good enough, right? So we want to make sure that we hook people in right away. This is a video like no other. Music vaults. We do not have to spend hours and hours looking for amazing, beautiful, cinematic, really emotion inducing music for your brand video. It's all done for you in the music vault. And then those real brand video breakdown sessions where I go shot by shot. I tell you the whole backstory. This is what we thought of. This is what their audience was like. This is how we came up with this part of the story. This is how we filmed this. All of that. It's my students once again tell me it's amazing. Like they love those breakdown sessions. Bonus number one, how to strategically position your brand video, how to install this system in your business. Bonus number two, how to show up really confidently on camera. If that is an area where you're struggling a little bit, I will help you through it. I will say this program is not for you if you are terrified of being on camera or if you're like, absolutely not, I want a faceless video. No. So this is not the program for you. But if you know how much of an impact showing up can have, and all you need is that little extra push or like, how do I make this a little bit more comfortable and actually get through it? I've got you. Don't worry. I will. This workshop is perfect for you. And then finally, for the first 10 students that sign up today, you will get your script and your shot list done for you by my personal AI team, reviewed by yours truly. And that is a lot more hand-holding than I've ever offered before. And so all of this today is yours for a one-time investment of $2,997. Or if you would like to break it out into installments, you can do 6 monthly installments of $499. Now, you might notice that I didn't change the pricing, right? Like I'm not charging you more for the monthly installments because I just want to make this a heck yes for you. I don't want you to feel like, oh man, I really wish I could pay in full. But there is an additional bonus if you do pay in full. So just know that you get an additional coaching call with me, one-on-one, 60 minutes, which I normally charge $1,000 for. So if that is something that's valuable to you and you can swing it, 2,997 is your investment to date for the Brand Video Accelerator. And you can go to the link in the comments to get yourself set up and snag one of those 10 spots. So we already know that your story holds the emotional truth that your people are searching for. And it shows them that they're not alone. And it gives them a sense of belonging. And it says, I've been where you're at. I've got you. And that was actually the end of my slide. So I'm going to stay on this page. I'm here for Q&A. I hope that you've seen by now that I'm way better at brand videos than I am at Canvas skills or present or, really getting, one day I'm going to have like somebody doing this for me behind the scenes. What I care about is this. And what I'm such a badass at is looking at your story, understanding your audience, and helping you understand how you're going to connect with them, which story you're going to tell, how you're going to tell it, which visuals you can use to really move them emotionally, all in how to create that video, right? I mean, I could do this for you in my sleep. This is 100% my wheelhouse. My entire life has been creating videos like this. I even talked about in an email today that, anyway, there was a video of mine that got played actually in Congress and helped enact law. So it really is about understanding how to make people empathetic and move people. The investment for the program is 6 installments of $499 or one-time installment of $2,997. And that is for the main program. I do want to share with you guys that if you are interested, awesome, Katie, I'd love to have you. I know that we've communicated and we've been in touch a little bit throughout. And again, I honestly, until proven otherwise, every single person that I've attracted into this program and into my business has been awesome. Like people that I would love to meet in person and hang out with and introduce to other people. And this is the other thing. I don't talk too much about this like in this moment, but it's more when you come into my program. But I'll just tell you guys that I talk a lot, as you can tell. I'm always on podcasts. I am going to, oh my gosh, guys, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. My flight's at 7 a.m. I was invited by the host to a conference called Scale with Stability that's headlined by Damon John from Shark Tank. I'll probably get to meet him tomorrow at dinner. I'm moving up. My business right now is small. It's actually small you can take advantage of that in the sense that I am still present. I'm still very much invested in every single brand video that gets created. I know that once I grow, that won't be the case. In fact, I don't know yet, but this is either going to be the last and best brand video accelerator or close to it. And the reason is because I have to kind of scale out of this program. But while I'm in it, I am fully in it and I bring you with me, right? Like I mention my students all the time when I talk about examples of brand videos on different podcasts, right? I was on Social Media Marketing Podcast and I talked about my student, Julia. I talked about Casey. I talked about Nadia. Like you guys are my examples that I use. I can bring your businesses. And in fact, the cool thing is that I think Social Media Marketing Podcast has 60,000 downloads per episode. And I believe, don't quote me on that, but I'm 99% sure that they actually linked individual brand videos that I mentioned inside of the blog post. And so that's a visibility opportunity for you that, I don't sell you that, but once you're in my world, that's just a byproduct of working with me is that anyway, I don't want to talk about other coaches who do it differently, who never mention their students unless their students are like paying to be mentioned. I don't do that. I love the students that I've worked with and the business owners that I've worked with. I do want to mention one thing because I'm kind of rambling right now. Thank you, Ina. Thank you for joining. If you would like, I do have an option that's not advertised for a VIP version of this program if you want to offload the editing. Typically, I don't offer this, or I have offered it in the past. I did not put it on the sales page, but if that's something you might be interested in where you're like, Mariana, this sounds awesome. I can get it done, but I really don't want to edit this. I want your team to edit it for me. Let me know, hit me up, and I will give you the details of the VIP option. I'll just tell you right now, it's $5,000. And all you have to do is film your brand video and just upload the footage, and we will get it edited for you beautifully by my team. The other thing, if you're wondering what that extra bonus is, and Sarah, I'll answer your question in just a second. If you're wondering what that extra bonus is for the full pay in full, that extra bonus is my editing team taking your edited brand video. So you have to edit it, but once it's edited, they do a pass. It's a fine tuning pass, and it really just like jazzes it up right at the very end. So they're not doing the entire editing for you, but that is the extra bonus that you get for paying in full. Sarah says, do we have forever access? Like if we pivot our offerings and need to, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. You have forever access to this program. The coaching portion expires after 12 weeks. But you can absolutely reuse this framework 100%. It's yours to reference back over and over again. I'm going to keep adding to it. 100% you can go back to it. I'm concerned that my niche goes in a couple directions. As a photographer, I shoot spaces, architecture, design, and real estate, but also a brand photographer, which my branding isn't as niche yet. So I'm struggling considering how to structure a video that would speak to both groups. Would this still be a good fit? Megan, that's a fantastic question. I have had a couple students who are like, I serve these folks and I serve those folks. What do I do? Here's the thing. It's the same answer as you would get from any person who knows good marketing. And you probably know this answer already, which is if you speak to multiple people, you're not speaking to any of them, right? Or you're not speaking to them as effectively. So could you create a brand video where we're speaking to both those people? Yes. Will it be as effective as a brand video that's speaking to only one of those target audiences that you have? Probably not. And so it's not impossible. In fact, I had a client who just to price anchor for you guys a little bit more, she paid me $4,000 just to write her script. And now you're getting this as a bonus for being one of the first 10 students to join, which less than that because some folks have already joined. But I'm doing a fresh batch of 10. So anyway, so she paid me $4,000 to write her script. And yes, we created a shot list as well for her. And she had 2 ICAs, 2 ideal client avatars, and we were able to do it. She went on to film and edit it herself. And in fact, I think I have to follow up with her because I know she filmed it. So I want to see where it is. But so it's just, unfortunately, it can be because those 2 people, as I'm sure you know, will have different things that trigger them in terms of what they're looking for in you. But we can focus on the similarities, right? It's not impossible. And if you're absolutely know that you want one brand video for both of those people, it's definitely not impossible. It's just not as effective, perhaps, as for sure, than having a video that's specifically for that person. So in that case, what I suggest is having one of your ICAs that you know is the most profitable, or if you definitely still want to keep the 2 ICAs, which one either is most profitable, or which one do you feel like it has a bigger barrier to entry to trust you, and then focus on that one. Yay, Isabel, thank you so much. Fantastic. Yep. I will post that link again because I feel like it's gotten buried a little bit. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. Thank you guys so much. I think that might be it for questions. I've got a bunch of FAQs in that enrollment link. We're now at the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to let you all go. I have a dinner tonight. I'm meeting with a bunch of, I don't know, 6-7 figure business owners in New York City. and then that flight tomorrow. So I have to get going for those things. But the doors are open. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. Thank you, Megan, for letting me know about the link. Doors are open. First 10 get this, honestly, like kind of priceless bonus, or a bonus that's worth more than the program. And thank you, Vanessa. I love to hear that. And what was I gonna say? The doors are open until next week. So you have a little bit of time. I believe they close on Tuesday. I should know, I know. But I'm really focused on folks who know they want to jump in. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. And the replay will go out very soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you.